Have you ever stopped to reflect on the impact of religion on the formation of morality and human thought? Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most influential philosophers of the 19th century, provokes us with the following statement: "The Bible is the most harmful book ever written." Nietzsche offers a scathing critique of the Bible's influence on Western civilization, arguing that its teachings promote a morality based on submission, guilt, and suffering. For him, Christianity, rather than strengthening humanity, weakens it by imposing values that repress natural instincts and the ability to affirm life. But does Christian morality truly limit human potential and the will to power? Nietzsche was born in 1844 in Germany and became one of the most revolutionary thinkers of his time. His philosophy challenges traditional values and proposes a re-evaluation of morality based on the affirmation of life and the overcoming of limitations imposed by religion and culture. Nietzsche was born in 1844 in Germany and became one of the most revolutionary thinkers of his time. His philosophy challenges traditional values and proposes a re-evaluation of morality based on the affirmation of life and the overcoming of limitations imposed by religion and culture. He saw the Bible as a tool of control that reinforced a slave morality, encouraging weakness and resignation instead of strength and creativity. His most famous work, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, introduces the concept of the Übermensch, Overman or Superman, an individual who transcends traditional morality and creates their own values. Key works by Friedrich Nietzsche. Thus Spoke Zarathustra, where he presents the idea of the Übermensch, a human being who transcends Christian values and creates their own morality. Beyond Good and Evil, a profound critique of traditional morality and how Christian values have shaped civilization. The Antichrist, a direct attack on Christianity, where Nietzsche argues that this religion inverts the natural values of life. Throughout his life, Nietzsche faced serious health issues and spent his final years in mental collapse. However, his ideas continue to influence philosophy, psychology, and culture to this day. Key points of reflection from Friedrich Nietzsche. 1. Critique of Christian morality. For Nietzsche, Christian morality is based on the denial of life. He argues that concepts like sin, humility, and renunciation promote a culture of weakness, where suffering is glorified and natural instincts are repressed. In his view, this morality was created by the weak to subjugate the strong, inverting humanity's natural values. For example, he analyzes the figure of Jesus Christ as a symbol of resignation and sacrifice, contrasting it with historical figures who embody strength and the will to live, such as Napoleon Bonaparte. For Nietzsche, Christian morality prevents individuals from pursuing their true greatness, as it encourages them to settle for submission and obedience. 2. The Bible as a tool of control. Nietzsche saw the Bible not as a sacred text, but as a means of psychological manipulation. He believed its teachings encouraged passivity and hindered the development of human potential. For him, true human greatness lies not in following commandments, but in creating one's own values and affirming one's will to power. As an example, he cites the doctrine of love your enemies, which can be interpreted as a way to weaken the combative spirit of individuals, making them submissive and resigned in the face of oppression. Another example is the concept of hell, which for centuries served as a tool of intimidation to keep the masses under control, preventing them from questioning religious authorities. 3. Overcoming the religious man. In opposition to Christian morality, Nietzsche proposes the concept of the Übermensch, an individual who overcomes the limitations imposed by religion and creates their own morality. The Übermensch does not seek heavenly rewards but lives fully in the real world, embracing life in all its complexity and beauty. A clear example of this is the valorization of art, science, and philosophy as authentic expressions of humanity, rather than devotion to religious dogmas. The Übermensch rejects the ideal of an existence focused on the afterlife and dedicates themselves to affirming their earthly existence with courage and creativity. 4. The death of God. One of Nietzsche's most famous concepts is the death of God, which symbolizes the collapse of faith in ancient religious beliefs. With modernity and the advancement of critical thinking, Nietzsche observed that the Christian tradition was losing its strength, opening the way for a new way of living and thinking. The rise of rationalism, humanism, and science challenge the idea of a supreme being dictating morality and humanity's destiny. An example of this phenomenon can be seen in the Enlightenment, when philosophers like Voltaire and Diderot began questioning religious authority and promoting secular thought. For Nietzsche, this moment represented an opportunity for humanity to take full responsibility for its existence and create new values independent of religion. 5. Master morality versus slave. Morality. Nietzsche distinguishes between two types of morality: master morality and slave morality. Master morality is based on the affirmation of life, strength, creativity, and the pursuit of power. In contrast, slave morality, characteristic of Christianity, exalts humility, submission, and weakness. For Nietzsche, the rise of slave morality occurred because the oppressed developed a value system that made them feel morally superior to their oppressors. As an example, he points to how Christianity glorifies suffering and poverty, while demonizing ambition and willpower. In his view, this inversion of values harms humanity, leading to the decay of the spirit and preventing the flourishing of exceptional individuals. 6. Religion as the denial of life. Nietzsche argues that religion, particularly Christianity, teaches individuals to deny life in favor of an afterlife. He sees this mindset as harmful because it distances people from reality and the possibilities of growth and development in the earthly world. As an example, he criticizes asceticism, a common practice in various religious traditions that values the renunciation of worldly pleasures. For Nietzsche, this denial of natural instincts and the joy of living does not lead to spiritual elevation, but rather to repression and the impoverishment of human existence. He advocates for a philosophy of life based on the affirmation of the world, the celebration of vital energy, and the full acceptance of the human condition. The Bible is the most harmful book ever written. Nietzsche's statement reflects his view that the Bible, far from being a tool of spiritual elevation, functions as a mechanism of domestication that stifles the will to power and the authenticity of the individual. For him, the Christian holy book consolidates a slave morality based on the denial of natural instincts, the glorification of suffering, and the perpetuation of an ideal of life focused on renunciation and unquestioning obedience. This moral structure prevents humans from affirming their own existence and pursuing full self-realization, as it conditions their actions on promises of salvation and divine punishments. Nietzsche argues that the Bible's influence extends beyond religion, deeply shaping culture, politics, and social values, resulting in a civilization that rejects earthly life in favor of a metaphysical ideal that never materializes. This perspective turns the Christian into a fragmented being, torn between desire and guilt, between self-affirmation and the demand for submission. In this way, the Bible not only guides behavior, but also structures a collective mentality that hinders emancipation and self-overcoming. Nietzsche's ideas make us question to what extent Christian morality influences our way of living and thinking. He invites us to reflect on the need to create our own values rather than accepting established dogmas. His critique of the Bible leads us to ask, do biblical teachings truly promote freedom and human fulfillment? Is religion a force of oppression or moral guidance? How can we reinterpret morality without relying on religious dogmas? Does submission to Christian principles hinder the full affirmation of the individual? Can biblical morality be compatible with a worldview that values strength, creativity, and autonomy? If this reflection on Nietzsche has sparked your interest, leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the Philosophical Owl channel for more philosophical analyses and thought-provoking reflections. Until the next reflection.